everybody. I am here with Claire Wallbridge, and we are here to do another insight into an incredible woman in the world of natural stone. So Claire, can I just ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Thanks, Becca, and thank you for the introduction. I'm Claire Wallbridge, and I am the Natural Stone Industry Training Group's Group Training Officer, and that's my day job.
And I think it's also worth saying that Claire was the founder of Women in Natural Stone, and so we've got a lot to thank Claire for, as well as everything that she does in the stone industry. So we are truly honoured to have you taken part today. So without further ado, we'll jump straight in. And the first question I've got for you, Claire, is who inspires you and why?
My inspiration has always been Isambard Kingdom Brunel, because he was a trailblazer in his day. He set standards in the 1800s that we still use now. He had such a belief. And I love, if you look at the Clifton Suspension Bridge, it is the most beautiful, iconic structure. So, yep, I don't believe that based on gender, I should have a female hero or role model. I believe that talent and vision and just how on earth did he did it? How did he do it? How back then? So has always, since I was about 13 years old, I've had a poster of him up in the office somewhere.
Love that. I think that's incredible, and I think it's a great person to have as a role model as well. I know that you're a trailblazer yourself, and kind of that definitely fits you down to a T. So yeah, no pop star posters for Claire. Just Isambard Kingdom.
Yeah.
Very unique. So my next question, Claire, is what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning?
Just to believe that every day's a new day. Life can be a real struggle sometimes. So when you get up in the morning, you just think, yes, today is a new day. And I do get to work with some incredible people. The talent that we have, the passion that we have within the natural stone sector, so diverse. It really is a joy. And I always say to people, I feel very honoured to have my job. And that gets me up. It truly gets me up to know that each day there will be something new. And sometimes that's a new bad day, but it's a new day.
I love that. And I think that's a great way to face the day. Every day's fresh. You don't know what's going to come at you. And it's a chance to start again. And I love the idea that you never quite know who you're going to encounter in your day as well. And that's what keeps it interesting and exciting. So yeah, I absolutely love that. And what do you think, obviously we're here with Women in Natural Stone, what do you think the advantages are to being a woman in the natural stone industry?
I think the advantage is that we are far more inclusive. We are far more willing to go to each other for support. And you, Becca, are a great example of that you encompass everything about networking, getting in with people, understanding and offering that support. And so as women in the sector, we can tap into other great women that not necessarily men will do. Having said that, there are some great men that I tap into all the time, and they are always open and welcoming. But as a woman, I also think we bring a different perspective. Somebody said to me only recently that women show empathy. So on jobs, sometimes we step back to consider what needs to be done rather than just going straight in with a solution. We still come up with a similar solution, but we take our time. And I think that's a predominantly female trait. I believe it is. But it's something that I have never, ever felt as a woman in construction or stone. I go in as me. And I think as an industry, we also are very inclusive of anyone. If you actually have an idea And if you are good at what you do, or even if you're not good, but you want to learn and you're passionate, the whole industry is really supportive of all of us, regardless of how we identify.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think as an industry, it's one of the things that I've absolutely loved is how welcoming and open that the industry is. And I think that gives us a huge opportunity actually to open the industry to more women, which a lot of other construction focused industries can't do because they don't have that openness, that inclusivity. So yeah, definitely it's something I think we've got an opportunity to build upon with women in natural stone and the networks we're building, which is really exciting.
We've got a good basis. The Women in Natural Stones has actually given such a foundation that we can build on that, most definitely.
And so what would you give to yourself advice-wise if you could go back 10 years or even longer? What piece of advice would you give yourself in the past?
The world will survive without me. I don't have to
it
be
won't,
everywhere.
Claire. Don't tell me that.
I don't have to be everywhere all the time. Take a breath and do what you do really to the best of your ability. And if you can't make something, if you can't do something, actually put your hand up and say, and everybody's fine about it. It's only me that used to fret about not going or not being there. Nobody else worried. So yeah, the world will survive without me. That would be my advice.
I think that's great advice for everyone to take on. I think we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. There's so much going on in the world. We want to be a part of everything, and sometimes you just can't. And actually, having held a number of the WINS networking events and things like that, for example, the fact that people might respond and say, I can't make it this time, but let me know about the next one, that's great, because I know that they're still enthusiastic. And I think we've got to be honest with our time and energy and look after ourselves as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's really important advice. And how about advice for a woman who's looking to start a career in natural stone? Would you have any advice for women looking to enter our industry?
I would say, firstly, use all the resources that are out there. Go Construct, work very closely with us as an industry to make sure the information that they have out there on the Go Construct website is current, it's truthful. There are lots of video clips from people from all parts of our industry, because when you say natural stone, that means something different to everybody. And I'm privileged to go from the mining and the quarrying right up to working with the cathedral craftsmen and everybody in between. So go to the resources, contact an organisation like WINS, the Natural Stone Industry Training Group, Stoning Federation of Great Britain. There are so many organisations out there. Get some information and ask, because we're all really happy to share.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that. When I entered into the stone industry with absolutely no knowledge of natural stone whatsoever, one of the first people I contacted was you, Claire.
Yes.
And it was this, everyone's got you to thank for me being here, or not thank. But that's so true. I found the Natural Stone Industry Training Group. I contacted you. You were so supportive. And it was from that we then became StoneFed members.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And everything's gone from there. And so I wholeheartedly agree. There is so much information. And as we've already said, the stone industry loves to share. We love to support each other. So
we're nice. We're nice.
We are nice.
Nice.
I think so. I think so. And last but not least, and I am particularly excited for this question from you, Claire, because I know you've had an incredible career. What would you say is the most memorable moment in your career so far, and why?
Oh, I have gone through a transition. I've had sort of 3 careers that have all led very nicely into the next career. For me, there's no one particular moment. There's no one particular thing, but I'm really proud of 2 things. The first is work that I did, and we felt we were pioneers in developing the first level 3 award in understanding repair and maintenance in traditional pre-1919 buildings. There's a handy little tag. And it was the first qualification that was linked to heritage for craft level. And that was in my previous role with the Construction Industry Training Board. And I got to work with now His Majesty, King Charles. And I worked with him personally and his organisation and got a real passion for the heritage sector. So I am proud of that, because it's just been delivered, that qualification, at Westminster Palace by the Building Craft College. And I was able to say, I was there when I wrote that. I was with the team. There were a lot of people involved. And the second thing is, I am really proud of WINS. I'm really, really proud of the fact that an idea that came out of International Women's Day during lockdown, when we were all hankered down indoors and everybody was sending me their little clips. And the idea was born. And then we took it to the landscape show. And you and Tamsin from Shirelme and Jane Buxey from the Stonefed said, we can do something with this. And now here it is. So that is something else that I'm really proud of, because it's something that you put your passion into that then moves on without you. And you can say, yeah, that was a really great idea. And like with the award, it's something that will, again, it'll be there long after me. So those would be my two things that stick in my mind when I looked at the question.
Oh, no, they're both incredible things. I mean, to have worked with King Charles is quite incredible. And also, obviously, I'm biased, but I think WINS is just a phenomenal thing to have been a part of. And to have been in with you in that from the very, very beginning at the landscape show and all throughout. And actually, I'd forgotten about the little clips that we did for International Women's Day.
Yes, there was such
like a lifetime ago.
Enthusiasm, and there were such strong women like yourself, like many others that contributed from the Natural Stone Industry Training Group, that it just seemed the most natural thing to do. And it was just great that WINS, what a title. It was meant to be.
Yeah, and I think you're right, there's so many that it's completely driven by passion. And it's just snowballing, and I have to kind of pause myself a little bit and remember you can't quite do everything at once, and it is going to be a slow build. We started with the networking, we're looking at the mentoring now, we're doing more for International Women's Day, and the more people I speak to, the more inspired I am to kind of do more for those women, but also they're doing more for each other, and it's incredible. So thank you so much, Claire, for your insight to start it all, and kind of get us to where we are now. So we owe a lot to you.
And there's so much more to come, and it will build and build, and it will grow, and it will become all of the brilliant women that are part of it, and the men that support it as well. Because I often get, can I be a WINS, although I'm a man? And I said, it is open to anybody that supports the ideals of the group.
Yeah, definitely. I do think I was speaking to someone earlier about this as well, that it's we are such an inclusive sector altogether. It's a very family-run sector. You've got a lot of strong men and women supporting each other, and I actually think that's a really incredible thing. So you're so right. It's all about actually just celebrating the fact that we are an inclusive sector, not trying to make us a female-led sector, for example. No. So there's some really exciting
great men. But MINS doesn't sound quite as inspirational.
No, it's not as fun, isn't it? So we'll stick with WINS.
WINS, yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time today, Claire.
Thank you.
And for all of your insights. And we'll be back again soon with some more interviews with some amazing women in natural stone.